Hey guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. My nickname is iFacepalm, and in this episode we're going to take a closer look at the French Tier 9 Batchat 25T AP, the auto-loading Tech 3 medium tank. And during this tank review, we'll be looking into whether if it's worth the grind, how its tank statistics looks, we will compare it against two other burst damage tanks, and this will be followed up with a super quick armor profile rundown with a focus on its weak spots and strength. And afterwards, I will take you guys alongside a very recent battle that definitely had a few memorable moments, which hopefully will give you a good idea of this tank in action. And finally, I will finish up with a quick sum up and my rating of this tank. Okay guys, so what is this French tank all about? And is it anything good? Well, the majority of players in World of Tanks are very well familiar with the Tier 10 Batchat 25T, which offers a super deadly 6-shot, 390 alpha damage gun that can obliterate anything in a single clip, but at the cost of a super slow reload speed, slow interclip, and somewhat precise gun. But what about the Tier 9? The thing is that the Tier 9 gameplay tends to be vastly different due to that the enemy team does not primarily consist of Tier 10 vehicles that tend to obliterate you to pieces upon being spotted. And personally, I must admit that I do prefer and enjoy way more both the Tier 8 and the Tier 9 battles. There are several reasons for this, like the average Tier 10 view range mechanics and the overall more campy playstyle by the majority of players, but that is another talk for another episode. So what I'm trying to ask here is the important and vital question. If this Tier 9 French Batchat 25T AP, is it enjoyable and is it capable of dominating the battlefield despite its horrible reload speed? Well, let's take a look by doing a quick stats rundown with my current crew and tank setup. The crew that I'm using for this tank is primarily focused on brothers in arms, camouflage and gun handling skills. For the equipment, I have selected improved rotation mechanism, binoculars and vertical stabilizer. We are going to take a closer look at this in just a minute. For the ammunition, I have selected 36 AP shells, which each is capable of delivering 300 damage with an average penetration of 232 and a decent shell velocity of 1000. Do notice that I have not selected any APCR shells, and this is due to that the difference between the standard AP shells and the APCR shells is simply not groundbreaking, besides the price difference of 1030 and 4000. And last, I have selected 6 high explosive shells. Do notice, as this is an autoloader, the ammunition amount is selected in clip size of 6. And furthermore, yes, 42 shells is quite a lot, but I must admit that the amount is still on the edge of not being enough. For the consumables, I have selected small repair kit, small first aid kit and a fire extinguisher. So for the stats with the current crew, we are able to deal 300 damage per shot, 232 penetration, we have a rate of fire of 6.35. But what does that mean? Well, that means if we clip a tank, we are capable of dealing an average of 1800 damage. The potential damage is simply staggering. But of course, it comes at a cost, where you directly see that it will take us 43.1 seconds to fully reload. That is really a lot. And furthermore, the InterClip reload speed is 2.73, which means it will take you 13.5 seconds to fire all your shells. That is a lot. And this also means that this tank is not an easy tank to play well with, because InterClip reload speed of 2.73, it will challenge you as a player to utilize it best, because it will give the enemy near to 3 seconds of hiding just from your second shot. We're not even talking about the remaining 4. Batchat has a gun traverse speed of 38.4, gun depression of -6, and do notice the poor elevation angle of 13 degrees. The aiming time of 2.34, it's somewhat okay for a general tank, but do keep in mind that this is an autoloader. We want to be fully aimed if we're going to clip a tank. And this is also why I have fitted both a vertical stabilizer and improved rotation mechanism to reduce the gun bloom to such a degree that we can be fully aimed when firing our next shell. Because when you choose to YOLO in, you really want to make sure that each and every single shell counts, because if the enemy survives your attack, then they will fire back. The dispersion of 0.34 makes it possible to snipe at a long range. The figure of 1904 DPM doesn't really say us a lot, because this tank is a burst damage king. The hit points is 1600. The armor figures, yeah, 30, 25, 20 for the hull, 25, 25, 20 for the turret. Yeah, we will take a super quick look at the armor profile after the comparison. For the engine power, the small tank actually offers an engine capable of delivering 575 horsepower, which makes it very nimble with a horsepower per ton of 21.32. And furthermore, it also receives 65 forward and 20 reverse. And this this actually means that this tank feels more like a light tank. For the traverse speed 52.8, and as long as you are not firing, then this tank offers you a camo of around 32 when stationary and around 25 when moving. The view range for this tank is nothing out of the ordinary. It is also why I have chosen to include binoculars, because this tank can be played both in full YOLO mode, where you just get super personal against the enemy team, or you can actually snipe from very far away because of your rather decent gun figures. And last, the signal range of 766 is more than plenty. Okay guys, let's take a look at the comparison. Okay guys, so here in this comparison we have the Batchat 25T AP, and we are comparing it against the Char Futur 4 reward tank and the AMX 5120 heavy tank. And the reason for why I have chosen to include a heavy tank in this comparison is simply because the French tank class classification seems to be kind of random, where light tanks are classified as heavies and heavies are classified as lights. Yeah, if you're looking for a tank nation that has completely messed up their tank class classifications, look no further. Okay guys, so for the DPM, yeah, it's not really a figure we can put much value in due to this is an autoloader. So let's quickly continue to the penetration values. And here, do notice that both the Batchat 25T and the AMX 5120 uses AP shells as standard, where the Char Futur uses APCR, which we also can see in the shell velocity. Both the Batchat 25T receives an acceptable shell velocity of 1000 and 1067, where the Char Futur takes the crown with 1461. A really nice shell velocity. And when we change to premium, then do notice that both the Batchat and the AMX 5120 uses APCR as gold ammunition, but where the Char Futur uses heat shells. And furthermore, the premium shells for the Batchat are only capable of dealing 263 penetration, and unfortunately is neither capable of standing out in the shell velocity comparison. The alpha damage itself, well, that's also a bit tricky, because when you look at it right here, 300 versus 390, 400, yes, the Batchat doesn't look so good. But here we need to combine the figures. So for the clip size, because the Batchat has a clip size of 6 shells versus 4. Yes, and this means we are capable of delivering a clip damage of 1800 in just 13.64 seconds versus 1560 in 12 seconds, and also against 1600 damage in 10 seconds. So yes, the potential damage is better for the Batchat, but keep in mind that we need to hit and penetrate 6 out of 6 times, where both the Char Futur and the MX 5120 just needs to penetrate 4 shells and in less time. The InterClip reload speed, yes, 2.73. In this comparison, it is nice, but in general 2.73, it is nothing out of the ordinary. Keep in mind guys that the Skoda T50 has an InterClip reload speed of 1.8 seconds, and even the standard B has an InterClip reload speed of 2.5. So yeah, 2.73, it's definitely not fast. And an InterClip reload speed of 3.33 or even 4 seconds, that is really slow. Meaning that both the AMX 5120 and the Char Futur will encounter more situations where they will not be able to deliver a full clip against its enemy, as they will have plenty of time to hide away after the first shot. For the gun handling, the aim time 2.5, nothing out of the ordinary. The Char Futur takes the lead here with 2.2, and furthermore, even the dispersion of 0.36 is the worst. But when we take a look at the hidden gun handling statistics when moving, 0.16, during the tank and turret traverse 0.16 and 0.14, which means a more stable gun performance, at least in this comparison. Do notice that the gun elevation for each of these tanks is simply horrible, which is ranging between 11 degrees to 13. And last, the 6 degrees of gun depression, nothing out of the ordinary. And this can be challenging, but we can directly see here that both the Char Futur and the MX 5120's 9 degrees of gun depression is just so much better. So what about the mobility? Check these figures guys. 65 an hour, 60, and yes, the heavy MX 5120 forward speed 65. And the reverse speed, yep, each tank shares a beautiful reverse speed of 20 an hour. And this they are able to achieve with a nice power to weight ratio of around 21 to 22, where the AMX 5120 is lacking behind with 16.66. But do keep in mind guys that 16.66 horsepower per ton is actually quite good. And the interesting part, at least when we compare the Batchat 25T against the Char Futur, is in the terrain resistances, because for the power to weight comparison, the Char Futur seems to be slightly more nimble, but when looking at the terrain resistances, has slightly better figures, at least in hard and medium terrain. And of course the 60-ton heavy has worse terrain resistances. So yeah, at least when you compare the French heavies against its own medium tanks, then there is a definite speed difference. The turret traverse is very similar all across the board, with around 30 to 32 degrees, but the tank traverse is way better on the Batchat with 44 degrees. Just makes it feel that much more nimble, like a light tank. For the armor, As we saw in the garage, nothing special here, guys. Where both the Char Futur and the MX-5120, at least on paper, has significantly better armor, because in general, neither of these two tanks are famous for the armor profile. HP wise, the Char Futur and the MX-5120 each have an HP pool of 1750, where the Batchat takes the last spot with 1600. It is not gigantic difference, but it is still there. And last, for the camera values, yes, both the Batchat and the Char Futur has very decent figures, as long as they are not firing, where the AMX receives some horrible heavy tank figures. The view range of 380, yeah, it's not groundbreaking, but I do wish it would have a view range of 390. Radio range 750, and do notice that the chance of fire on the Batchat 25T is twice as high as the Char Futur. Fire chance of 20% is really not that common. So if you find yourself on fire game after game, an automatic fire extinguisher might be an option. But luckily I haven't encountered it that many times yet. Okay guys, let's do a super quick armor profile rundown. Okay guys, so here we have the armor profile of the Batchat, and for this rundown we're going to use the 232mm penetrating AP shell. Let's take a look how it looks in the live view. Yes, I definitely said this would be a very quick armor profile rundown, guys. Check these figures here, and let's take a look on the side. Yep, and from the rear, yep, nothing. So, was that it? Well, nearly. Because you can actually bounce when the RNG gods are with you. If your gunner is unlucky to hit the turret, yes, your shell will be absorbed. But also, due to the thickness of the tracks, do notice what happens. When we try to side scrape, it actually gets absorbed. And even when we take a full side profile look at this, then do notice what suddenly happens. It jumps between 100% chance to absorb. So I will move my mouse cursor very slowly, and let's see what happens here. 3 times 15mm of spaced armor plus the natural 25mm of armor, and look what happens. So we have absorbed shells 75, 50, 75, 50, absorbed, and suddenly a 100% chance out from the blue, literally, and again absorbed, and again 100% chance, absorbed 100%, absorbed 100%, and this just continues. Whatever you do, if you encounter a Batchat 25T AP, hit it anywhere but not the tracks. Okay guys, let's take a look at a very recent gameplay replay. Okay guys, so here we are on Sand River. I'm playing in the Batchat 25T. For this particular matchup we are top tier. So will be a bit interesting. There's plenty of tank destroyers for this matchup. Luckily there's only one light tank. The good part about this particular tank is that we can take the role of being a light tank quite easily due to this sheer speed of this tank. So in any situation where our light tank suddenly and unfortunately will disappear during the battle, we can more swiftly and more easily take that role. So guys, we will start off to going around the J2 line, see if we can get some shots in. One light tank there can give us some problems. Really want to make sure my shots count if I'm going to fire due to the horrible reload speed of this tank. The good part about this particular position here at the J1, J2 is that many times you can put in some nice shells from there. Oh, nice. Can we put another? Let's put a blind fire there. One is still there. Let's try it out. So we have 2 shells left. Can we make... Seems like we hit him more than once. Ah, not fully aimed. And this is what... Yeah, that we definitely saw what it actually means when we are not fully aimed. Because this shell didn't just like miss, it nearly went in orbit there. So now we're reloading. Yeah. 42.01 seconds of reload. This current stage. So we can get a shell in. 3 seconds. Come on, come on. Yeah, from time to time, those 42 seconds or 43, 44, depending on your setup, can definitely seem. Can definitely seem like you're playing with an artillery. The reload speed is horrible. I'm wondering what our comrade is doing. He's just like shot on his side. He hasn't even touched. But now, yeah, this guy's going to regret his choices. There we go. That is the beauty of the devastating potential that this gun has. If you guys are wondering why this tank is not the fastest at this current stage, it's simply because it's actually in its stock configuration, besides the gun. So when fully upgraded, it is way more nimble than this, and it's really comparable, fully comparable with a light tank. Nice, come on, come on, come on. That guy is so dead. Yeah. Okay, spotter, get away. Whoa. And reloading again. Okay, 5-6. We are unfortunately behind. Yeah, nearly 4,000 HP at this current stage. This is a lot. I picked a bit too much of that. Should have been spotted there. Yeah, the AMX AC. He smells blood there. Unfortunately, that will seems that it's going to be ours. But if we can reload before he can appear to us, he has simply no chance. He's nearly dead. Oh, maybe our light tank is going to help us out here. No! Come here. Yeah, beautiful. And that's the nice thing. When you make a horrible shot like the first one, yeah. When you make in those situations where you simply miss due to lack of skill, then you have a second chance, or a third, or fourth. Yeah. Extra chance for each of the shells. Okay, well, we got the Panzer too. Can we put someone in there? But I must say, guys, of what we know, we have 4,600 HP in our team pool, and what we are aware of, the enemy has 10,000. This is just going to be horrible. But let's see. Can we get good use of this gun? Oh, check this, guys. Just wrecking damage, yeah. Beautiful. Okay, 7-11. Around 5,000 HP behind her. A bit worried, of course, now, because now the enemy is pushing like from all flanks. Doesn't really seem to be a safe place anywhere. Good. One of the good parts about the long reload speed is that it really forces you and gives you the opportunity to take a bigger look at the map and to reposition, because it's not every game where you will get a lot of opportunities. You really need to create them yourself. At this current stage, the enemy is pushing from all the flanks, so yeah, hopefully it will create them for us. Can we put in a shell on that guy? Fortunately, shell bounced. But yeah, when the guy is hull down, I'm not going to try out my luck. We only have 1,000 health left. And 3 shots from him, and there's no Batchat anymore. So the T-30 is pushing there. I know it's just a big chance. Ouch. And then we have the Panzer II there. Okay. We got 5 shells in the magazine. And a Scorpion there. Okay, guys. We really need to make this count. Okay. We should be able to do this. Okay, come on, don't shoot. Yes, beautiful. And the next. 1 shot there. Come on. Beautiful. And the T-30. He hasn't seen us. One in there. In the hull. Oh, another. Yes, beautiful. You also catch fire, which made it more certain for us. Wow. Okay. After our Rambo / James Bond episode, we're up at 6 kills at this current stage. We're still behind, but at least it's not as severe as it just was. So yes, in the stock configuration regarding the engine, yeah, it's not the fastest to accelerate, but when we reach the top speed, then it's nice. 60 an hour plus. I need to take him out. Ooh, that was shot from the left there. Yeah, beautiful. I took in a shell, but we got him away. Need to reduce the amount of enemy guns. The E50. We have 5 shells in. Oops, we got stunned from the... Come on. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, guys, so we got 8 kills at this current stage. Unfortunately, we have only 440 health left. The enemy has an artillery, which hopefully we can actually use to our advantage, because the enemy tank destroyer, which last was spotted at H5, I don't really see he will be moving, but of course could still be there. Or maybe he has moved. That's a good question. But definitely at this current stage we need to kill off that artillery, because if we get spotted, one thing is certain, that archer is going to fire at us. And 440 damage. Oh, beautiful. Well played by our comrade in the light tank. Okay, so it's him and me. So what? The ISU 152K last spotted, he had full health. Where did I get spotted from? Must be inside the town, because if he was inside the town I was spotted, I would expect that he would fire a shot at me right now. Just communicating to my teammate there, the LT432. I got spotted there. Let's see if we can together find out where he is. The challenging part here is, like, if the ISU 152K has full health, this can definitely provide us an... Whoa, get away. Yeah, definitely has to be there. Yeah, because of our HP pool, that means that the ISU 152K can actually just one-shot us. Definitely, he has a 750 alpha damage gun. And if I was in the ISU 152K, I would definitely not go out in open spaces. Just checking to be certain. We still have around 5 minutes left, so it's enough time. We could also go in and cap. The problem is, if I cap and maybe the light tank join me, that would still mean that we will give time for the ISU to reposition and maybe find a shot. But if we can push in together and kill off the ISU, we will have secured this. So do notice that I have loaded the high explosive shells, as I only have 4 regular shells left in this particular game. It's just about spotting him before he spots us. Less than 4 minutes. Okay, the light tank is also probing. I'm so worried about actually that the light tank will get killed, because I do not feel certain that if the light tank gets hit, well, that he's definitely going to be dead. But I do not feel certain that then I can win this. Because being in the cap circle, yeah, what to do? It's a very, very open area. You stand best chance at this current stage of killing him off. But where is he? Still not spotted here. He must be around that tall building there. Let's get the binos working. Nope. 3 minutes. Okay, the light tank is moving also closer. We stand there. There we go. Can we put some shells in? The side. 92. Come on, get some damage. Okay. We need to keep on track. Another. Come on. Okay, Lighting, come on, come on. You should be tracked enough. You should be tracked. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, beautiful. What a game. What a game. Nice. So, the Batchat 25T AP. Is it worth the grind? The quick answer is yes. But the reasoning for this is a bit more tricky. The thing is that this particular tank, in the right situation, is one of the most deadliest tank out there. But the question is, how often does these opportunities arrive? And how often can you make the best of it? The Batchat will require you to utilize your map awareness and combat situational knowledge on when to reposition, when to strike to finish off the remaining tanks during key moments of the battle. And when this fails, then you only have your fast speed to rely on to get away as fast as possible. So yes, this tank is all about knowing when to strike, and when you do, you need to make sure that there is no one left besides you. So how many facepalms would I give this French tier 9 Batchat 25T AP? I will give it 3 facepalms. This tank has surprised me positively. I think it is a tank that is challenging to play well with, and when comparing the gameplay style against the very old tier 8 auto-loading king, the tier 8 AMX 5100, which back in the day was the go-to tank for any Unicom, then the 5100 have that extreme downside of simply being too slow, which meant when you are not able to finish off the enemy, then you are an extremely easy prey for the next 50 seconds or so. But where this tank suddenly has the speed of a light tank to get away, but most importantly reposition on the battlefield where you can utilize your gun in the most deadly way. So yeah, the Batchat 25T AP, this is not a tank I can play during a whole evening. It is a difficult and challenging tank to play well with. If this tank is primarily played as an ordinary one-shot tank, then this tank will disappoint you greatly. And yes, anyone can YOLO in and unload those 6 shells, but to be able to do it 4, 5 or maybe even more times in the course of a battle, then that is the challenging part. So in that regard, yes, it is a situational tank. Because of the sheer speed that this tank has, you can prove it wrong time after time as you watch the enemy tanks burn in your rear view mirror. And before we finish up, guys, if you are often platooning with your mates, then for those World of Tanks evenings where the fun and YOLO factor is the priority, then 3 of these French monsters in the same platoon have a staggering damage potential of dealing 5400 damage in just 13.5 seconds. Yeah, that should indeed be enough to wipe off 2 tanks off the battlefield in no time. Okay guys, let's finish up. As always, I hope that this tank review was helpful towards your decision on whether you should grind for the Batchat 25T AP. And thanks a lot for watching, guys. This was my tank review number 21. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of the Batchat in the comments below. And as always, if you'd like to see more crazy content from my side, feel free to leave a like or even subscribe. It's a big thumbs up for me and I appreciate it a lot. Cheers guys, take care and see you next time.